Good to, sometimes go back and remind yourself why we start doing it in the first place.
Yeah, you stated also in the documentary and actually also in this interview already that fans is a big reason for you to keep going and is maybe as a fuel as well for the band.
For sure.
How is that? Was there a period where, probably it gets addictive in a way, that maybe when you go back home and it's all quiet and nobody's cheering when you step out of or in your door? How is that? Have you gone through that phase as well for yourself a little bit?
For sure, it doesn't take long, and to us, we're a drug-free band, but to us, this is that drug for us, and when you're away from it, you miss it, and you want it, and you need it, and that's always been the case. And we could be on a touring cycle, for a year and a half of touring, and then we come home, and towards the end, we're burnt out, we're tired, we're tired of living out of a suitcase and hotel to hotel and sleeping on a bus at times, and so you look forward to coming home, but then when we're home, you could be home for about a month, and then you're just wondering what to do with yourself, because music is your life. So it's just back into okay, let's switch gears now, let's start writing again. Let's get ready to go back in the studio, because when we finish in the studio, then that means we could go back out on the road and perform again. So it's definitely, I'll go out and see concerts when they come to town, and I'll be in the audience, I'll be on the other side.
Do you like that now more, maybe even?
I do like it, because I appreciate it, and it gets me fired up. It gets me all pumped up and ready, because then I get to be a fan again. When we're out here, we're working, we're playing a show, and we're performing, and we love it, and it's an addiction. But it's good to, sometimes go back and remind yourself why we start doing it in the first place. We're a fan of music. So when I could go in the audience and I could see a concert come through my town and be in the audience and witness it, it gets me fired up, wanting to, be back on stage again.
Can you give an example of a show that you saw maybe recently or last couple of years that you really felt this?
Over the summer, there was the big Mayhem tour. We did the Uproar tour at the end of the summer, but right before that, in the July and August of last year, there was the Mayhem tour in the States, and that had Korn and Five Finger Death Punch and Lamb of God and Rob Zombie, and it was a big lineup. And I was out in the crowd, just sitting there and just loving it, just being out there and just hearing it full power and full energy, and it definitely gets you fired up.
How is it for you now? You mentioned you have 3 of you are fathers already, to have the family life. Do you all in a similar pace demand kind of that life as well a little bit, or how is that balancing well?
That's the trick. It's always going to be challenging. It's always going to be a trick, and we're all about family and friends. And to have the kids, as the kids get older, things are going to change and they have to adjust in our lives. My daughter's going to be 7 in 2 days. I'm over here touring, and I'm going to miss her birthday. So as a father, I feel terrible that I can't be there for that. But I'm out here working, trying to provide a future for my family as well. And so for all of us, we've all missed birthdays at one time or another. We've missed things that go on at school and that. But when we're in the U.S., I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to take my daughter, my son, who's 3.5, out with us on tour for the whole summer.
Are they aware actually a little bit of what you're doing?
Yeah, definitely. I think my daughter's been doing it ever since she was born. Every time we've toured the U.S. and Canada, she's been with us. And well, my son too. But now that he's 3.5, he's getting a better understanding of it. And it's funny because they love it. They love being on the road. They get a lot of attention from the crew and the other bands and that, to be the young kids out there. And so we homeschool them while they're out there and try to make sure that they're educated. And it's good because they're around adults all day long, and there's usually a couple of kids out there too. The promoter of the last tour we were on had his daughter out for the whole tour, so
they have some entertainment around then.
Yeah, for sure.